Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, The Long Backlog, where I, Jesse, have begun to work through my backlog of video games instead of just simply adding to them. This week's game is Dave the Diver. We open onto you, Dave the Diver, being called by Cobra, a shady man you have had dealings with in the past, calling you to come see him with the allure of sushi. You leave vacation and you head to the deep blue hole, which Cobra informs you that is quite unique in that it can change each time you dive, and there is quite the variety of species ocean life in said location. After a brief tutorial, you are introduced to the second main focus of the game, the restaurant. The restaurant is named Boncho's, which is headed by a chef that gives the restaurant its namesake. This is when you are surprised by Cobra a second time, where he tells you that you have to run the restaurant as well. This puts you in charge of everything except the cooking, which is handled by the coolest character of the game, Boncho. Diving is where the game stands out to me the most. I have always had a love for fishing in games, and this is where the game shines. I always seem to aim for those pesky lionfish because they are considered such an invasive species in the native waters of my country, so I feel like I am helping the ecosystem. Initially, you are able to dive once in the morning and once in the afternoon. Later on, you unlock night fishing, which is more dangerous as all fish are aggressive at night. The trade-off of night fishing is less hours of operation for Bonchos, which could, potentially, mean less profit. When you are diving, you have 4 upgradable pieces of wearable equipment. Your scuba tank, which gives you more oxygen when upgraded, which equals more time to be on the dive. Second, you have your scuba suit. This affects how far you can dive before having a negative effect on your oxygen consumption. Next is your diver's box, which limits how many items you can bring back to the surface from the dive. And lastly, the harpoon, which is the main item you use to capture fish for the restaurant. The higher level the harpoon, the easier it is to catch fish. While on your dive, there are a few different things you can find to bring up from the ocean floor. The obvious flora and fauna, of course, but you can find ingredients to be used at Boncho's such as salt, olive oil, black vinegar, turmeric, etc. You can also find items that can be used to craft and upgrade your base gun. At the beginning of your dive, you have access to your harpoon gun, a diving knife, and a basic gun. All throughout the blue hole, you will find yellow boxes that you can open as you dive that either upgrade your harpoon to do things like shock, sleep, poison, or fire damage, or upgrade or change the overall function of your gun. Gun types such as net gun, which allow you to capture things without killing them, which in turn lands you more meat to use in the restaurant at night. A sniper rifle, a 3-barrel gun, and a trank gun. The diving knife can be changed out too from those boxes with items such as the cattle prod, rubber chicken, toy mallet, various conditions of Japanese katanas, and even a baseball bat. On your dives, which tool you use to capture affects the quality of the fish that you acquire. Your knife and your base gun will land you a single-star quality fish. Harpoon will land you a 2-star quality fish, and finally, as mentioned before, the net will net you a 3-star quality fish. Why would you use anything but the harpoon or the net? Well, the aggressive marine life, like sharks, are why. They have bigger HP pools, and wearing them down with the gun before finishing them off with the harpoon is what I do for best results, as they are too big to capture with the net gun. Your oxygen acts as your life bar while diving. You run out, your dive ends. But you are still allowed to choose one item to bring back up with you. When you are attacked by aggressive creatures, they reduce your oxygen, but don't worry. The oxygen reserves that you can find on the floor, as well as in the yellow boxes, can have useful items like mini oxygen tanks you can use when you see fit. And don't worry, if you happen to run low on oxygen and can't find any, there are escape pods scattered throughout the area, so you can exit the water quickly and not lose all your precious fish and items that you have acquired on your dive. Other things you can find in the yellow boxes are water scooters, which increase the overall rate of movement for a set period of time. The story of Dave takes place while diving as well. you eventually run into Dr. Bacon, who is obsessed with sea people. He asks you to go on a mission to uncover the secrets of said sea people, which is the main story of Dave the Diver. The devs seem to have kept the combat system relatively easygoing, and I'm glad for this, as I have more time to focus on the beautiful environments I'm swimming through, such as the shallows and depths, which are my two favorite zones so far that I've explored. The boss fights seem relatively easy to do, but still enjoyable. I mean, who hasn't dreamt of fighting a giant squid underwater? There's always a gimmick to the fights, like shooting a specific spot on the boss to deal damage, like the eye of the giant squid or the glowing tail of the giant wolf eel. The fighting isn't the main purpose of the game, and I'm glad to see the devs kept it that way for the boss fights. I am glad they're not shoving difficult boss fights or overly ridiculous gimmicks down my throat to win the fight. The second half of the core gameplay loop takes place at Bancho's, which, as mentioned, is the sushi restaurant that Cobra forced you to manage. This is where you bring all the fish you gathered in from your dive to be prepared by Bancho and served by you. Initially, you only have a few things to manage in the restaurant: pour the green tea, serve the food, clean the counters. The only other person with you at the start of the game is the coolest, dopest, Bancho. While Dave is the focus of the diving part, Bancho is the focus on the restaurant, even getting his own storyline. After a while, there's always an event that happens at the restaurant, and Bancho must either please a customer, judge, or VIP of some sort to advance his story. As you run your restaurant, the restaurant's popularity is raised via reviews, giving inspiration to Bancho to develop better recipes to bring in more business. With this business, you require help. Eventually, you'll be able to hire help with serving and cooking as you build your rep, which gives you less responsibility, and you mainly focus on serving the drinks and making the wasabi. Other things you unlock are additional drinks like beer and even a fish pond where you can now bring back eggs of fish and have them grow instead of constantly looking for them. The gameplay loop here is fun, but not really the reason I enjoy it. I enjoy it because of one man, and that man, as mentioned before, is Bancho. He just has such a cool vibe. His animated scenes make him seem even cooler to me. I get the feeling that it's supposed to be some sort of satire, but I don't care. If satire was the purpose of Bancho, the devs fell short with me. Since we're on other characters than Dave, let me touch on a few of the goofy, if not likable, supporting casts. Duff, Ellie, Dr. Bacon. When you first need a weapon, Cobra has the man who can get it done for you and isn't your typical man. In steps Duff, an overweight shut-in who is obsessed with anime but definitely knows his way around a gun. His cutscenes always get a chuckle out of me because they are just goofy and fun. Ellie is a marine biologist that sends you on a collectathon of marine life, which in turn she gives you rewards for completing. Dr. Bacon is an overzealous conspiracy theorist about sea people, as mentioned before, wanting you to do all the research while he reaps the rewards. Well, the academic rewards. One of the other things you can do in the game is a collectible card type game, where you try to collect every creature in the blue hole. There are also times where you can take pictures that must meet certain requirements and sell them to one of the side characters, and you can really get some beautiful pictures in this pixel art game. The style of Dave the Diver didn't really grab me right away. I love pixel art and can appreciate the effort the devs took to do the game in it. The singular moment I realized the beauty of the game was when I ran into the humpback whale, which coincidentally also made me think of Star Trek. If you know, you know. The humpback blew me away. I now looked at the game with new eyes and really took in the beauty of the game. The zones that really stood out to me after that were the shallows and the depths. The radiance of the shallows and coral reefs that lay there, and the eeriness of the depths left me wanting to spend more time there finding out more. Exploration is another key aspect of the dive. As mentioned before, Cobra mentions the reef could change at any moment's notice and have a different layout than when you previously dived. To me, there only seemed to be a handful of deviations in the layout, but they did keep any important story-related details in the same area so you wouldn't have to continue to track them down or wait for them to reappear to progress the story. The music did its job in the game. It sets and reflects the tone of the environment that you were in. If I had to pick a favorite song, it would be The Deep. The song gives me just a fun, chill, but still eerie sense, similar to how I would feel while exploring Big Watery Hole. After spending many hours with the game, I can definitely say without a shadow of a doubt, to me, Dave the Diver is an extremely fun game with a great engaging gameplay loop. The fishing, exploring, characters, and art style just hit right for me. I can easily see myself playing the game for many more hours, even purchasing DLC. With that is one more game played in my long backlog, with many more to go. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for taking your time to hear my thoughts. This is Jesse on the long backlog, and in words of Duff, or Leah Chan, or whomever, goodbye Eternity.